watch
How?
this?
How?
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 Ew, how do you watch this? Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Hello, this is How Do You Watch This? A movie review podcast where each week we give each other a movie to watch in the genre we love, but they don't. My name is Demi, and I love horror.
My name is Megan, and I love romance.
And our common thread for this week was same actor.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, we obviously had to choose one of the most iconic ones with the most diverse repertoire of movies.
Yeah. I have to say, there's no two are alike.
And I forget the reason why he started doing a lot of just random shit. I think he was like low on money or something.
Oh,
He
really?
needed- And so he was just accepting anything. And
Oh,
then
shit.
that's why he's in so much fucking obscure shit. And now he's like known for that.
That's
But,
wild.
yeah, I think it was, I forget if he was like broke on money or he needed money for something or I don't know.
I don't like look into actors too much unless they're super hot.
Right. Are you saying Nicolas Cage is not?
Sorry, we'll get into it.
Anyway, so my movie for Megan was Willy's Wonderland.
And my movie for Demi was a classic, Family Man.
Which is a Christmas movie,
Yes,
Megan. And
I'm
you made
sorry.
me watch it in the fall.
Sorry.
The first like little jingle at the beginning, I'm like, is this a fucking Christmas movie?
I wanted to be like, Demi, let's push this one off. But then I was like, well, dude, there's like, here's the thing is, aside from National Treasure,
Yeah.
10 out of 10 romance.
Of course.
Aside from National Treasure, I haven't seen any of his other like any movies with romance in them. So I was like, this is the only choice.
I mean, I love Nicolas Cage, but
Uh-huh.
like, I'm just like, romance lead.
Dude, no, I'm sorry.
And I try to figure out, I'm like, what is like off about him? And I think it's his hair. He never has the right haircut.
Every time
ever.
it's like it's slicked back and he's receding, and it's fine if you're receding hairline, but
it doesn't work for him.
not when it's hair slicked back like that.
No,
I
and
mean, you can make it work,
Like, you're a celebrity.
right?
Get a
Like,
stylist, Nicolas Cage.
But there's people in this movie who are trying to make him the romantic lead. Why are they thinking?
And the thing is, I like him as an actor. I think he's really fun. And I don't think he's like a really hideous. Like, I don't think
No,
he's that
not
like, ugly.
No,
It's just like his hair.
It's
So as we
this-
learned from
yeah.
Stardust, hair does a lot.
hair does
For
a lot.
men.
Yeah,
But anyway, enough about Nicolas Cage's
Right,
receding hairline.
right. Poor guy.
So my movie, The Family Man, is like a comedy drama romance. And the director is Brett Ratner. Brett's evil alter ego. Year released 2000. And my snapshot is wealthy and single businessman Jack. I did not write man. I'll have to edit that. Guess
Wealthy-
business Jack gets to live through a what if glimpse where he stayed with his ex of 13 years ago, living his life as a suburban husband and dad so he can realize what he really needs. So let's get into this.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you the last time. So I'll be honest. I think the last time I saw this was either in 2000 when I was 6, or a couple years later when my parents, back when Blockbuster existed, we would go and buy their like old movies for $5. So it's very possible this is one of those movies that was like in the bin,
like the random.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
So-
that time in my life.
Yeah, if it was then, I may have been. I was anywhere between the ages of 6 and 10 when I saw this, and that was the last time I saw it.
Oh my god.
So it's been
okay.
it's been at around about 20 years since I've seen it.
Oh my gosh, so you won't be able to help me.
No, I rewatched it last night
okay.
with my husband, and we have lots of feelings. I honestly, I feel like I have to apologize that you had to watch it.
Well, first of all, I want to say, I do enjoy Christmas movies. I guess I enjoyed them a little bit more because they have like that Christmassy, good feeling. So like, I don't really hate Christmas movies, but there are definitely some that, I hate the Spirit of Christmas. That is
Dude,
one.
how can you hate that one? It was so good.
No.
Oh my god, I'm gonna make you rewatch it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me rewatch it so I can give you a full review of that movie. Anyway, that's the only movie, like Christmas movie I can think of that I hate. So I'll just jump into that. I was like, okay, Christmas, it's like cheesy, whatever, like Christmas magic,
Yeah.
Fucking whatever. It's Christmas. The opening starts in 1987. And Nicolas Cage.
Right, okay. Sorry, I'm already going to the shirtless Nick Cage scenes.
So Nick Cage. So Nick Cage, his character's named Jack, and he's kissing someone goodbye, and this someone is Kate, his girlfriend. So he's boarding a flight. He's heading to London to a big interview or internship. Then Kate's like, "Don't go. You just stay here, and you can, start our lives together. Why do we have to like wait?" And so he's pretty much leaving for a whole year in London. And she tries to convince him, and it looks like she maybe convinced him. And then he was like, "It's just 1 year. This is gonna be great for us. Blah blah blah." And so he leaves, and Kate's crying, devastated. But he's young. He got an internship for this,
right?
To help his career. He's thinking about that.
Exactly.
13 years later, it skips. And we're at a hotel. It's Christmas Eve. And there's like a random woman in this like hotel room with him. And he was like, "You were great." And, so obviously they just had sex.
He's literally like reading a newspaper in bed as she's getting dressed. What?
Yeah. And so,
I guess that's the modern equivalent would be scrolling your phone.
Right.
But...
Yeah, this was 2000. So he's living in this like wealthy apartment building.
Yeah, he's the penthouse suite.
Yeah, of course. And so he's getting up, getting dressed, and he's just all he's wearing is just little black, dude, like tiny blackies. Tiny blackies. And he's like dancing and like singing, and
he's
it's
singing
like
an opera.
Yeah, it's typical Nick Cage. I mean, he's killing it.
It's bombastic as hell.
It's a great scene. So if that doesn't make you fall in love with him, I don't know what will. So he's living in New York, and he's like the president of this stocks and trading company.
Something.
I don't know. They do fucking
business.
Stupid shit. So anyway, he's wealthy from it. We're gonna have the biggest merger on Monday. We have to be prepared for it. And I didn't understand half of what they were saying, but it was pretty much important stuff.
Yeah.
A very
blah,
expensive
blah, money, blah.
merger, whatever. So then at this point, I'm like, is this just the Christmas Carol? Like the Christmas Carol? And it's sort of. So then Jack's assistant brings up that someone named Kate called, or Kate's assistant, called asking for him. And he's like, "Oh, that was like my old girlfriend of like 13 years. I haven't like heard or thought about her for like that long." And he's like, nah, I won't call her back." I was like, okay.
Jack, if someone from 13 years ago reached out, I'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
My curiosity would win out.
Right, exactly. And they never really say what happened. I guess the long term just didn't work out.
I mean, my assumption is that he was a jerk and didn't come back. Like, because he talks later on about how, in Morocco I went skydiving and like things like that. So I'm assuming he just got like the travel bug and never was just like, "Bye, Kate."
Yeah, Jack kind of sucks.
Yeah. TBH.
So anyway, end of the day, it's laid out. Jack's walking outside. It starts snowing. It's feeling like Christmas magic. He stops at a little market to get some eggnog. And then Don Cheadle walks in. I only just found out what his name was. His name's Cash. I didn't know for the whole movie.
Oh, I didn't either.
I don't think they ever brought it up.
No, just fun fact.
It's apparently Cash, but I'll just call him Don Cheadle because it's a cooler name. So goes to the cashier, and he's like, "I've got my winning lottery ticket. Check the numbers. And the cashier's like, "No, I know you're like cheating. Like that's fake, whatever." Yeah. And he pulls out a gun.
Dude, I was like,
the cashier.
Huh?
And he's like, "Check the fucking numbers, check them." And so Jack, the hero, he's like, "Hey man, like I'll buy the tickets. I'll give you $200. We'll have like a business exchange."
Yeah, because basically like the winning ticket was $236, so Jack would make $36 off of it. So it's a business deal at the end of the day. Which, like, this guy is saying that this is a winning lottery ticket and it's legit. And the guy behind the counter is not looking at the lottery ticket at all, which is weird.
It feels a little
at first
racist.
I was like, is this racism? Like,
which it could be, because it's like, I don't know if like Don has like been to this
right. You don't know
before.
if
it's been like constantly trying to do that, and so the cashier's like, "No, I know your shit."
Yeah.
Or if it's just racist.
It's hard to say. But then there's like, it's like, why, if it was legit, when he just goes somewhere else and then he's gonna say, I don't know. The whole thing is just,
it doesn't fucking matter anyway.
No, it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I don't know why we're going so deep. Okay.
So Don agrees to take the $200 from Jack, and he's like, all right, come on, Jack, let's go. And Jack never brought up his name. So then Jack's like, when they're outside, he's like, how do you know my name? And Don was like, oh, I call everyone Jack. And I'm like, okay. Well, obviously, this man is something.
He's magical.
He's our ghost of Christmas past. And so Jack's like, maybe like you can get some help. There's opportunities. And Jack's trying to like be genuine, I guess.
Yeah.
He's a rich white man. Like,
he's doesn't know anything about hardship.
Yeah. So he's pretty much like, everyone needs something. And Don's like, well, Jack, what do you need? And Jack's like, nothing. I have everything I need. And Don's like, all right, remember you did this to yourself, and walks away. And I would have been like, okay, this man's gonna find me and kill me at night.
Yeah, seriously.
And so he just walks away. Jack's back in his underwear in his penthouse. He goes to bed. He wakes up. In a different bed, a different house, with a wife laying on him, and then these two kids barge in the room, a dog, and it's Christmas Day, and they're trying to wake him up, and Jack's like, what the fuck? Like, he is like, and he barely looks at Kate. It's Kate in the bed. Kate. Surprise. Yeah. And he's like, and he like starts trying to like run away, and he gets stopped by like Kate's parents, and they're like, hey Jack, where are you going? Like, we're here for Christmas. And he's like, where's my Ferrari? And they're like laughing about it. Or like, oh, your minivan is like right outside. He like jumps in his this shitty minivan. He's like in suburbia. He ends up driving to New York to like where he lived. And he goes to like the doorman. Doorman's like, hey, like only people who live here can come in. And Jack's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm Jack fucking something. I forget what his last name was, but he's like just typical Nick Cage freak out. Yeah. And obviously no one knows like who he is. So then Don Cheadle's character drives up in the Ferrari, and he's like, hey Jack, and he's all dressed like, in a suit, all clean, and before he was dressed, just like I don't know, backwards cap and like baggy hoodie, jeans and stuff. And so Jack
I said he's dressed like a man.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Just a basic man. Yep. So Jack jumps into the car, and Don's pretty much like, so you're pretty much experiencing a glimpse. And I guess this glimpse is if Jack stayed instead of flying to London, what that life would have been like. And so he's experiencing this life now.
Okay.
So there's no explanation as to why that was it.
Yep.
And so Jack's like, because you thought I was cocky, now I'm like stuck in this permanent acid trip. Yeah. And Don's just like, yeah. And Jack's of course upset, and like he's like, I want to go back, I don't want this at all. And Don's like, until you learn what it is you need to learn, you can't leave. And so it's like a mystery. Oh, what does Jack have to learn about himself? Don also said that he was impressed by how Jack handled the situation at the shop. So I don't know if that means like, is this a gift? Is this I guess he thinks
it kind of is. It is, because like at the end of the movie, like this is what he needed to have the most fulfilled life possible,
I guess. So yeah, Christmas gift. It's like, oh, learn, that you need family, and you don't need money. You need 2 little bratty children and a hot wife in suburbia. Yep. Don tricks him to getting out of the car. Before he does that, he gives him like a little bicycle bell. And he's like, here, take this. And Jack's like, oh, if I ring this, will you come to me? And Don's like, yep. It pretty much just like tricks him getting out of the car and fucking drives off. Yeah. So Jack's like, cool. So he ends up going back home. And he gets greeted by Kate. And Kate was like, crying, like wondering where the fuck he went. Because he missed Christmas morning. Yeah. He missed their daughter. I know I wrote the names, but whatever.
Annie.
Okay. Opening like a bike that Jack put together for her and all this stuff. And Jack's like, this isn't my home. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. And Kate's just like, okay. Like, yeah. And I mean, I guess how else would you handle that situation? Right. But if my husband I've been married to for like 13 years randomly did something like that, I'd be a little concerned.
I would.
So like, what? Like,
I would be committing crimes.
I would be more concerned. And
yeah, you're a better person than me. I would have been losing my mind. Oh my god, I would have been like, find somewhere else to stay tonight.
And I'm just gonna say, Kate's very patient this whole movie.
This
couldn't be me.
No, the whole time I kept turning it to Travis and being like, I wouldn't do that.
No, she is too fucking nice in this movie. So pretty much Jack's trying to say, like, you know, I don't live here. I live in New York. I'm not a dad. Like, you're not my wife, blah, blah, blah. And he tries ringing the bell real quick to see if, like, I guess Dawn will, like, show up. And his daughter strolls in and was like, oh, that's nice. And takes and just walks away. And then we don't see the bell till the end. So then Kate's like, hey, you need to, like, get ready because we have a party tonight. Jack's like, I don't want to go to a party. And she's like, this is a party you look forward to, like, every year. You need to get ready to go. And Jack's pretty much like, no, I'm not gonna go. And she's like, all right, you can stay with the kids then. And Jack's like, all right, I'll be ready in 10 minutes. So he goes, and his closet's way smaller. It's like typical dad wear instead of his fucking $2,000 suits.
Right, like polyester instead of whatever it is that fancy people wear.
So he's like, oh my gosh. And then, so the daughter's kind of like looking at him and like seems a little wary of him. Yeah. Because he's not acting like typical dad. So they go to this Christmas party, and it's hosted by a woman named Evelyn. And Evelyn, you can just tell, she's got her titties out, she's got the red dress, she's got the dark brown hair, you know. the seductress. It's always the dark brown hair. So she's like, do you like my dress, Jack? And I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I was so nervous.
Hello?
I was like, excuse me, sir, you're a cheater?
I'm like, oh, so Jack's an asshole in both lines. Yeah. Okay. So she asks that, and Jack's like ignoring her because he's like, like, I need a drink. And he's like chugging shots. And then he's like trying to talk with some of the guys. And a little earlier, he met with like a neighbor who's actually like one of his, I guess, best friends. Yes. And his best friend is like talking to him, and he's like, you know, what's going on, whatever, trying to help him out. And so Jack's kind of learning like, okay, this is my good friend and blah, blah, blah. So they're at this party, and he's trying to like communicate with them. He doesn't know shit about their lives, what's going on. And no one thinks it's being weird. And then Evelyn's like, do you want some food? And forces a fucking pastry in his mouth. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So obviously they either have something going on or Evelyn's just obsessed with Jack. Yes. During this party, Jack finds out that Kate, because she was going to be a lawyer before he left 13 years ago. And he finds out now that she's a nonprofit lawyer. And I looked it up, and apparently, like, they're just, I guess, paid like a shit ton less than normal lawyers. I don't know. Like, they're
it's nonprofit. Anytime anyone is doing something good, they get paid.
Right, you get paid dimes. Yeah. And so Jack's like, you're a nonprofit? You don't get paid, like, anything? Like, pretty much, like, at this party.
He has this weird outburst. Yeah. And she just kind of laughs it off.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
dude, after his behavior the day before, or that day, missing Christmas, and then that little outburst, I'll be like,
no. And Kate's just like, oh, okay, weird. Like, hello, that's your career. Like, you're being a good fucking lawyer. Right. You know, not like a scumbag lawyer that just does it for the money.
Lawyer, yeah. I mean, no offense to corporate lawyers. Maybe you're good. I don't know.
You're like 5%. If you're a corporate lawyer, do it for the money. It's okay. Yeah. We respect that. But anyway, Kate's not like that because she's a nice person. No. And so that's how he finds out that, like, what her career is. And I guess he's just, like, kind of, like, shocked and upset that she didn't pursue better money like he did. Well, in his other life timeline. So anyway, next morning, the baby's, like, crying. And he's like, oh my God. He gets up, and Kate's, like, showering. And she's
throwing down.
She's throwing it back in that shower. Like, it's one of those, like, old, like, glass... frosted glass of showers. Yes. And you can see a lot considering it's frosted.
There was all like, she was like grabbing her ass.
Yeah, she was doing all this crazy shit, like dancing and singing. Yes. And I'm like, okay, like when I sing in the shower, like we don't do all that.
No. I am not popping, lock, and dropping it. I'm gonna fall in the shower and hit my head and die if I dance the way she's dancing.
That was like insane. So Jack, of course, was like, oh, sorry, like the baby's crying, and she's like. She opens the screen door and she's butt naked, but they're husband and wife, so she doesn't care. But obviously for Jack, he's like, hello. And she's like, Tuesday's your day. Like, go ahead, go get him. And Jack's like, fuck. So Jack goes to help with the baby. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's like, change the baby's diaper. The baby's pissing everywhere.
Dude, this scene. Please tell me you make a comment about the fact that they zoom in twice on the baby's penis.
Like, nudity. Which I'm like, this is... There's too many fucking perverts in this world. I was shocked.
No, Travis was just like, that's a baby's
I was like, they're not going to show this baby's Like,
he really showed the baby's penis multiple times.
It was shocking.
I was like, someone needs to edit this movie.
Yes, yeah. There's
take out that clip. Please.
Like, God knows how many fucking nude babies are in these old fucking movies. Because I mean, you don't think about it. Obviously, the baby.
No, it's a baby, but like
perverts.
Yeah,
perverts. You can't even post a normal photo of your kid on fucking Instagram.
No, exactly.
Without these pervs saving them and being gross about it. Oh, no. Anyway, this poor child flashed the world at a young age. So. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that was shocking. And then the daughter's in there and she's watching him and she's kind of helping, like pointing where like the wipes are, the diapers. And she's like, "You're not really my dad, are you?" And Jack's like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "Are you an alien?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And she's like, "They did a pretty good job making you look like him." So at this point, the daughter's like, "This is not my dad."
Yeah.
And so, you know, they kind of work together at this point with she's kind of helping him like with what the routine is and all that stuff.
How to be a human being. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, and it's like kind of scary because obviously Kate doesn't know. But like imagine like you fully entrusting this man who's never dealt with babies dealing with this baby, but obviously she doesn't know. But like for me, I was like, oh my god, I'm like stressed watching him deal with this baby.
Yeah, he's gonna
fucking
do something wrong.
Child.
Yeah, he's gonna shake it or something. God.
So Tuesday, I guess, is like his day to help bring the kids to daycare, take care of them in the morning, whatever. So he brings them to the daycare. The daughter's like, "This is where the baby goes. This is where I go. I have this at this time, this at this time. And I'll see you later." And she goes to leave
up at this time. Don't be late.
Yeah. He's like, "What do I do now?" And she's like, "You go to Big Ed's." And he's like, "For what?" She's like, "'Cause you work there." It's like he works at like Big Ed's Tire Center, and he's devastated. He's like, "There's no fucking way." And like the sign is like a big cowboy guy, and he's just like real gaudy looking. And so he's in there, and he's like, "Do I have an office?" And the guy in there is like, yeah, it's in the back. And it's, you know, nothing like his fucking extravagant office. And it's got kids' drawings everywhere, and picture of him and Kate at their wedding. Just like shit like that. And then it's not his vibe. So he ends up finding out that he ended up going to London in his timeline, but he flew back the next day to Kate. So, you know, it's not super important, but it's also like,
yeah, you find that out in a little bit later, and it's just kind of like this thing for him where he realizes that it's not that he stayed behind, it's that he went there and realized he couldn't live without her.
Yeah, because he saved like the ticket stub. Yeah. And that's how he found out. And so then on the TV, he sees that the merger for his company went through, and it's like, "Oh, this is the biggest $1 billion merger or some shit." He was like, "Hey, like that was supposed to be me." And they show like the president. And the president's actually a guy that was like working for him, who was kind of just like very, I guess, like insecure and quiet, and Jack was just taking advantage. Meek. And then now he's like the president, and Jack's like, "Should have been me. And like Kate comes out, she's like, the kids are asleep. He's like all excited, and she's like turns the TV off, and he's like, "I was watching that." And she takes her like shirt off, and Jack's like, "Oh, well, like should we like have a drink or something?" And she's like laughing about it. She doesn't fucking know. Yeah. And so they like start smooching, and then he's like weird, and he's like, "God, you're so beautiful. Like, I just like realized how beautiful you are." Yeah. And she's like, "Okay, bet." And she puts on this like lingerie, which is just like a slip.
It really is just like, it is what people wear as dresses now. Yeah. It's just a tight black dress, like spaghetti strap dress. That's all it was.
So she throws that on and comes out, and Jack's like sleeping. And so she turns off the light and whatever. She goes to bed, and then you realize Jack wasn't sleeping.
He's faking it.
And he wanted to fake it. And I guess it's just because he feels awkward just having sex with her, because
which is
awkward.
It definitely is.
This is a woman you like loved and like, you know, in your original timeline,
and she thinks you're someone different. Right. It's like not transparent. Like, he apparently gets it all the time.
But
because
he didn't want to do that for Kate, because Kate's not like other girls. She's not
different.
Trashy. Stupid. The next day they go to the mall, and Jack, dude, this would have been my divorce moment.
This literally
my divorce
from the beginning. From the first little hissy fit.
Yes. So he sees like a suits area. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna like go like look at suits."
Well, first of all, like they're talking, and he's pissed off that they're going to all these stores, shopping at all these stores. And then she's like, fine, I'll take the kids and go with them. And you stay in the men's section. And I'm like, I turned to Travis. I was like, well, couldn't be me. I'm not about to let you have your own little hissy fit by your, like, no. I'm not okay taking the kids. So then he goes into the suit area and she finds him like trying on this suit.
And the suit is $2,400. He's like, oh, I think I'm going to buy it. And she's like, we can't afford that. And he's like, oh, you can buy yourself shoes, but I can't buy a suit. And she's like, the shoes were like $20 bucks, $25 bucks. And first of all, that comment, I was like, fuck you.
Right.
$2,400.
Right. There are 2 extra zeros.
That's insane. That's insane. And obviously you can tell, like, Jax, he doesn't know about caring for a fucking family. He only cares about himself.
Yeah, and it wasn't even shoes for Kate. It was shoes for the daughter.
Yeah. It's like for the family.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna have your kid walk barefoot?
So then he's like, my life so far is like, well, like, what's in it for me? I don't get shit. Yeah. Nothing for me. And he like basically blames Kate for giving up on like his dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how fucking dare? And this was like loud in the mall.
Yeah, it's a screaming match.
And I'm like, you don't think Kate gave up shit? She fucking had 2 kids with you. You don't think she gave up anything?
Yep.
You don't think she constantly gives up shit every fucking day? My patience. I would have probably killed him. I would have killed him in front of the kids.
I thought to myself, I would have left with the kids and been like, find your own way home.
I would have waited in the car, and when he drove, like, came out, fucking hit him. Because that's insane that he did that. And then the worst, Kate, bless her soul, but she is,
she rolls
frustrated
over so easy.
They're like driving home, and he's like, I'm sorry, like I said that. And he's like, I just don't know how they ended up, like how we ended up where we are now. And she's like upset still, but you could tell she's kind of like smiling a little bit. She's like, oh, you know. And he's like, what was like the biggest surprise? And she brings up how, you know, the daughter obviously was. And he's like, oh, cool. Surprise pregnancy. And then they're like, fine. I'm like, no. This man would have to move out.
Yeah. My Aries rising could never.
Insane. So they're fine now.
Yeah.
They brought up how he's kind of working for Big Ed.
Which is his father-in-law.
Yeah, sorry. So he works for the Big Ed's Tire Center, which is owned by his father-in-law. Pretty much, like, he ended up, like, having a heart attack, and Jack was, like, helping him out. So, like, you find out, okay, like, different Jack.
Yeah, other Jack. Better Jack.
Better Jack is a better person.
And left his job on Wall Street to basically help make sure that dad wasn't going to fall over and die.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, that's really nice of him. This Jack could never. So then Jack, the next time we see him, is out bowling, and it's like a league match because with his friends.
This is just another, like, everything you're bringing up, I just, like, he's just
reminder
the
of how much
worst.
Jack sucks.
Yeah.
We don't support this Jack. We support Jack 1.
Yeah,
Jack 2.
Jack 2.0.
2.0. Yeah. So Jack sucks, obviously, because he's not bowl.
Yeah.
And
other Jack does.
Yeah.
2.0 does.
Yeah, 2.0 obviously is good at bowling because he's better most
at
things.
Everything.
So Evelyn, the hussy from the beginning, is there. And he's like, hey, and he's just like, is there something going on between us? And she's like, I didn't want to say anything, but now that you bring it up, like, if you wanted to do something, I'd love to. Like, Kate would never have to know. So then we find out, okay, they didn't have anything going on. Evelyn's just super into him.
Yeah, she's like has like six sets of snow tires in their garage, but she doesn't drive in the snow.
She just goes, like, gets tires from
him.
Yeah,
which you think her husband would be like, this is a lot of snow tires.
Yeah, well, I guess not. Typical suburban man doesn't pay attention to wife who has needs, so... So I call Evelyn a hussy, but she's probably alone.
She has a sad life.
Well, she's going to do that to Kate, so she's not a girl's girl.
No.
We don't support Evelyn in this movie.
No.
So Jack's like, do I have your number? And he gets Evelyn's number, and then Jack goes up to his friend, and he's like, I got Evelyn's number. Like, she wants to have an affair. And his friend's like, what? Like, what? And so apparently his friend thought about having an affair on his wife before.
Yeah.
And Jack talked him out of it. He pretty much said, you know, like, look at what you have, appreciate the things you have now. Because Jack 2.0 is better.
Yeah.
And so the friend now is kind of like, you know, think about what you told me. Like, think about Kate. Like, Kate, anyone would want to be with Kate.
Yeah. And to give a direct quote, any man in this town would give his left nut to be with Kate.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, Kate's Kate, first of all, is patient.
Yep.
Kate's hot.
Mm-hmm.
She is fun. She's the it girl.
Dude, I'd want to be with Kate too.
Yeah, she's the it girl. So it's like
I could never be Kate. I'm not patient.
No, I'm not as good as Kate.
No.
Nope. So Jack, at this point, I'm like, Jack, if you cheat on this woman after she did not leave you from that fucking mall comment, I'm gonna crawl through the TV and stab you myself.
And he keeps being like, you don't understand. It's not really cheating.
Yeah.
It's not really cheating. You wouldn't get it, but it's not really. Like, no, it still is.
He's so gross. Anyway, so he has this conversation and he goes home. This scene, I want deleted.
Oh, that's fair. It is, like, actually so icky.
I almost threw up.
It's so gross.
Okay.
It's really gross.
So he comes home and Kate's, like, working on her laptop. And he's looking in the fridge and he's like, where's that cake I was saving? And you see her like eating the cake. She's like, right here. He's like, I was saving that. Like, can I have it? She's like, no. And he's like, give me the cake. And at first they're like looking at each other and he kind of like jumps at her. And Brett literally, because he like sat down to watch a little bit, he's like, I thought he was going to hit her. Like,
oh my God.
I was like, Brett, this is like a rom-com Christmas movie. He's not going to hit her. But you never know with Nicolas Cage, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So he doesn't hit her, obviously. So she's running with the cake on a plate, and Jack is chasing her. Nicolas Cage himself, the actor, is chasing her. So they like end up on the steps, and she like, here's your cake. She smushes it on his face, and he's smushing the cake on her face, and he start making out, and they.
Dude, it's so.
And there's cake there's cake on his mouth and his
looks
teeth.
like vomit.
And
it really does.
It is so fucking disgusting. I'd rather watch that leap year scene, the table scene, 20 times in a row than ever watch this one scene in my life because it was so fucking gross. And so she's like, oh, what did she say? She's like, tell me what I love to hear. Tell me what I love to hear.
God.
And he's like, you're a bad girl, baby. Make me so hot. Now just picture Nicolas Cage saying this with cake just smothered around his mouth.
And like in his teeth.
And I'm sorry, no one would look good with this. No matter how hot.
It's Henry Cavill could do it and it wouldn't be sexy.
It'd be gross. It'd be gross. I mean, it's Henry Cavill's face, but it would still be gross. And so Kate gets mad from that comment because that was so gross. Like, that's not gonna make anyone hot.
No.
Like, oh yeah.
No.
Just go right up to the bedroom, baby. So she like walks away, and so he cleans himself up and goes to like the family room and sees a bunch of VHS tapes. And one of them is called Jack Singing. And I this was my most memorable scene because I just thought it was like so fucking cringe and funny, but it was also like kind of sweet.
Yeah.
So it's like a birthday video for Kate, and everyone's like talking about like how much they love Kate and stuff, and the person recording is his friend, and it's like, oh, Jack, like, do you have a message for Kate? And he's like, oh, like, yeah, I have a message for her. And he calls her over, and then his other friend starts playing the piano, and Jack just starts singing. And I don't know what the song was.
No, it's something like La 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 Love You.
Yeah, it's a real cheese ball.
So
and
cheesy.
Nick cannot sing for the life of him.
No.
But he's singing, and like, it's cute because it's like family and friend. They're all like,
yeah, they're kind of joining in.
Yeah, and like Kate is obviously just like, it's like it's a sweet moment.
Yeah,
and at that point,
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If someone was to sing publicly to me,
I
would pass
and I'm
away.
like watching this, I'm like, would I hate this? And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, kind of, but like it was like sweet.
It was sweet.
And it was like, it was friends and family.
If it was friends and family, I guess it wouldn't be as bad.
And
like,
honestly, it might be a little better because Nick can't sing. I feel like people that can't sing, it's like,
when you can sing, it's almost like a little bit too vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look at this great show.
Yeah, when it's like you can't sing, it's like, oh, it's like funny because like they can't sing, but it's cute.
Yeah.
He's trying. So it was a sweet moment. And like I said, this was, I think, my most memorable moment.
Fair.
And this is when like Jack kind of realizes that Jack 2.0 is a better man. And that, you know, he really is like a loving husband, a loving father. He's done a lot for people. And, you know, even though he's not wealthy on Wall Street, like he's accomplished a lot. And I was like, oh, maybe Jack will start being a better person. Next day, it's their anniversary, and Kate is so excited. She has this gift for him, And this is how you know she's a better person than me.
Mm-hmm.
The gift is the suit he was looking at, but an outlet. So she saved that cash. But still, she bought him a suit like that he liked, like a similar style. And she was so excited. I was like, that's so fucking nice of her.
Couldn't have been me.
I would never want to look at a suit again because it would remind me of that moment and make me hate him.
Yeah. I would buy the suit, give it to him, and light it on fire.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a valid response. So it's crazy how we're both married. Jack's like panicking, and which is fair because like he didn't know.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, you didn't get anything for me, and he's like, he tried to lie and say like, I plan on giving you something tonight, and she like could tell he's lying. She's like, I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna make it up to you. And so he's talking to like the daughter who's like maybe what, 6 maybe?
Not even. She has to be 4 or 5.
Yeah, she's little. And she's like, you know, my dad always went really big for anniversary before he like named a star after her. And Jack's like, shit, the hell am I gonna do? So he's like, I'll take her out to the city. And daughter's like, okay, like, you know, now you're thinking like dad. So he takes her to the city and like a really expensive restaurant. And he's like, do you want to dance? And this was a little cringy for me. But they start like slow dancing in the middle of a restaurant that doesn't
and people
have a
are like
dance floor.
looking at them and smiling. And I couldn't even look at the people in the background looking at them and smiling. I felt uncomfy.
No, I'm trying to eat my food.
If I was in a nice restaurant, like, right, like I'm about to have my anniversary dinner. If I'm there having my dinner and I look up and there's someone dancing right next to me, I'll be like, yo, Travis, look over there.
Look at those losers. How dare they be happy and in love?
This is how do I like romance? I'm like this gremlin. Every romantic thing ever, I'm like, ugh.
I think you're being extra rough because it's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I think that does it. That does it. If it was Henry Cavill, I would probably be like, I would swoon.
No, it's some of these are a little cringe. Obviously there's way more romantic gestures. Like if they were like, they walked outside after dinner.
Yeah, they had a nice
like
stroll.
dancing.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's romantic.
Because aren't people watching.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
I can't handle
watching.
people. I don't want people to look at me.
I don't need everyone to know I'm in love. No. So
that's why you're having your wedding vows behind closed doors. Let me go in this closet and say how much I love you.
No one needs to know. No one needs to know. So, and the rest, after they're done, like, dancing, he's like, I need to tell you something. And he basically is like, I feel like I'm living someone else's life. He knew exactly who he was and what he wanted. And suddenly he woke up and everything's different. He's not that guy anymore. He used to be the person who had it all figured out and shit. And Kate was, you know, wondering, she said she wondered what her life would have been like if she didn't marry him. And, you know, she said if that didn't happen, it would erase all the good things that came, like, you know, a life with Jack, the kids. And Jack said, you know, this, you know, there's no other place I'd rather be than with you and the kids. So, like, okay, Jack is learning something.
He's growing.
Yes, he's growing.
Spoiler alert, he's not.
Yeah, he's not. So they stay at like a fancy hotel and all this stuff.
Yeah, you know,
really nice.
They get going. They get
jiggy. Yeah,
they get jiggy with it.
They don't show the jiggy. I was a little nervous. I'm like, I don't see Nicolas Cage getting jiggy.
I actually wouldn't have been surprised if they did, considering how much skin they showed.
I know. I was surprised.
It's almost like they put it in the contract that he had to have his shirt off so many times.
We need to see it. So
give the people what they want.
Yes. So Jack, you can see him slowly like getting into this life. He knows the routine and blah blah blah. One day at work, the man that he used to work with, I forget what his role was. He's very high up.
He was definitely like the owner or the founder or something of the company.
Yes.
Whoever was higher than president.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah, God.
Old white man. God. Old white man. So he's there. His tire like blew out, and Jack goes up to him, tries to chat with him while the tire's getting fixed, and they're in the office, and Jack's pretty much giving his opinion on like the merger and stuff, because obviously he like knew about it. The guy, I didn't even write his fucking name down, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Old man was like impressed enough to say, like, hey, you know, when you drop off my car, like, you drop off my car so we can, like, talk again. So then he does that. They talk, and he's showing him around the building. He gets talking to the new president, which is the guy he, like, knew before. And Jack's just, like, in full Jack mode, like, right? He's, like, full business mode. He's talking smack. He's like, I know I can do this job, which he does. You know, he's talking himself up a lot because he was president. And he's like, I know both of you very well. Like, I can read you guys really easily. And he reads them.
Which is basically him using his insider knowledge.
Right. And, of course, the old guy's very impressed. He's
Whoa,
like, oh,
you know that I have horses.
Yeah, very cool. And so he's like, show Jack around the, like, you know, give him a tour. And so the other guy who's now president kind of shows him around and takes him to the side. And he's like, you know, you're just a pet project to him. He's going to get over you, blah, blah, blah. And, like, kind of being very, like, upfront with Jack. Yeah. And Jack just, like, laughs. He's like, wow, you really, like, changed, you know? Because before he was just very, like, meek and quiet kind of person. And now he's, like, the boss. And so Jack ends up getting this job. And he brings Kate to, like, this apartment, which is, like, a perk. And it's this beautiful furnished apartment. And he's like, we can basically live in it rent-free. We can move up to New York. We can put the kids in the best schools, blah, blah, blah. And Kate's like, it's a lot to take in because Jack got this job without letting her know.
Yep.
He's pretty much like, let's uproot everything we've known and move here. He's like, I'm making so much more money. Like, you know, you can get, like, a different job up here, blah, blah, blah. No more lousy restaurants. And Kate's like, well, like, you know, Adarna, like, she goes to a good school. She loves her school. And she's getting, like, upset. And I was like, I can kind of get it. And at this point, I was like, I think Kate's being a little dramatic.
Right.
Because, like, you know, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah. You could definitely, it's something to have a conversation about.
Right. And so, I guess that night, they head
That's
back
when
home.
he finds the ticket that night. That's when he finds the ticket.
Why did I write that so early?
I don't know.
I put, he realized he never went to London.
Oh, okay.
That's what he thought. And then he finds out he did go and came back the next day. Backtrack.
God, Demi.
We're
going to lose another follower.
Not reading my notes. So anyway, that night, they talk a bit more. And Kate's pretty much saying that she always thought that they would grow old in this house. And, you know, their grandkids would visit and they would do this and this. But she said, you know, if Jack really needs this job or really wants this job, then she's willing to move for him because their love is more important than an address. And so Kate's a good person.
Yep.
And so that conversation made him realize, like, you know, we have everything we need. We're happy. We don't need this rich life, you know. The next day, I don't know if it's like the next day or a few days go by. But anyway, he's, like, working on something, and, like, he hears the bell ringing. And he, like, looks behind him, and it's his daughter, Annie, like, on her bicycle. Yeah. So it's, like, you can't tell if, like, she was ringing it or it's, like, the bell he received. But that's kind of, like, a hint of what's to come. Yeah. So then Jack ends up going to the supermarket, and he sees Don Cheadle's character.
Yeah. Before this all happens, though, there is, like, this moment that's cute. That's, like, he's playing with her, and she goes, I knew you'd come back, Dad.
That's right, yeah.
So he's, like, fully in Jack 2.0 mode.
Yeah, that's right. Annie's, like, thinks that her dad, like, came back. Yeah. So then you're like, okay, Jack is full dad, full husband, like, typical, like, what he was. And so, Don Cheadle, Cash, is working the cash register at this place, and Jack's like, shit. He's like, don't send me back. I don't want to go back. Yeah.
I got kids.
Yeah, he's like, I have kids. And Don Cheadle's like, this was, you know, a glimpse isn't a permanent thing. Pretty much saying, like, it's just a glimpse into what you could have had.
Yeah.
And so Jack goes home. He's, like, says goodbye to everyone. So Jack's, you know, saying goodbye to the kids and, like, you know, knowing that he's going to wake up in his original life. And he, like, tells Kate, he's like, promise that she'll remember him as he is right now. Saying weird shit. Yeah. And Kate's just like, haha. I'd be like, what is happening? Yeah. What is going on? Yeah. She doesn't question shit, so.
No. She really
That's probably why she's living a bliss life. She doesn't question anything.
That's what we have to do. We have to stop caring?
Stop giving a shit about the weird things our men do.
Yeah.
Which, maybe if they weren't weird. Couldn't be me.
Nope.
So he goes to sleep. He's like kind of like sleeping on a chair. He dozes off. He wakes up and he's back in his New York life. And he goes into work. He's not dressed up in his suit. He's dressed, normally, and everyone's like, what the hell? So he goes and he's talking to the employees, and he's like, we're going to go through with this merger. We're going to do this and this and this. I'm going to take a flight to talk to whoever is merging with him. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So then he walks out, and he ends up finding out. Yeah, so he ends up going to their house, right? And an older man is living there. He's like, I don't know who Kate is, whatever. So Jack's like, cool, great. Yeah. So he ends up finding Kate's address because, remember, she did reach out earlier for some reason. So then he goes into this apartment, and Kate's moving everything, and she's going to Paris. And this Kate is like a very well-doing
she
lawyer
makes a lot
woman.
of money.
Yeah, she's business Kate.
She's not nonprofit.
Yes, definitely not. And Jack's like, oh, can we like get a coffee? Can we talk? She's like, oh, I don't have time right now. Like, here's a box. She called him because she had a box of like some of his things or their things together. And she's like, if you ever come to Paris, like, look me up and we can have coffee then. Pretty much like kicks him out. So then he ends up like running to the airport where Kate's boarding, and he's like, don't get on the plane. We should try this again. We should have coffee. And she's like, I was left heartbroken before, but I've moved on, and you should move on too. And at his last try, he's like, we have kids together. We have a little house in Jersey together. We're happy. He's talking about like what their life like was. And this convinces Kate to not board the plane. And the movie ends with them talking, getting coffee together. So you assume they're going to start a life together.
Which Travis goes, what? That was his reaction to the ending. And I was like, well, they end up together. Like, obviously. And he goes, but they don't show it?
Where's the wedding?
Yes.
Where's the kids?
He's like, let me see their future.
Yeah, it's insinuated. But I was a little surprised. I was like, damn, so they're gonna, I guess, start over after 13 years, which is a little crazy. But yeah, that's how the movie ended.
It's different.
It's,
but also not. But also, like, it is a trope that's been done so many times before.
Right.
Like the, time travel, whatever, what if, blah, blah, blah. The thing about those ones that always, like, sucks is, like he went back to his real life, and he like, has to start over. He had, like, this kid he loved, and
I know,
now that kid's like, gone.
According to About Time, they're probably not going to have that kid. According to About Time travel laws. So it's like, are you going to have Annie and whatever that fucking
Josh.
little shit's name is? Yeah, Josh. I don't know. So it's like a little crazy. I'm like, well, I don't know. I guess he learned that love
between the two of them was all that mattered.
It's important.
Yeah. Yes.
You can still be rich.
Yeah. The thing that I don't understand is, like, I mean, he could have just not been a jerk, and he could have come back after his internship.
Yeah, I don't understand how this Jack just became such a dickwad compared to Jack 2.0. But I guess, like, I don't know, just any little thing could have, I don't know, being in London fucks you up.
Yes.
Makes you
warning, don't go to London. This is just some more America propaganda against Britain.
I think we have some listeners.
Sorry, UK listeners. It's Nick Cage, not us.
Blame Brett Ratner for making this movie.
Yeah. Dude, the national treasure. Nick Cage just cares about America.
Yeah, that's... should just do another Nick Cage.
Yeah, honestly, we could just keep doing it
forever. It's a new podcast. So, most memorable scene was Jack watching the VHS tape. Scene that should be deleted was that cake scene. Ugh. Love interest. Oh, I messed up. I was thinking Nick Cage was the love interest. He's not.
Yeah, he's the main character.
Yeah, I said pass anyway. But
you wouldn't.
I would smash Jack 2.0.
But you wouldn't smash Kate?
But I would smash Kate, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I put her as a side character, so I messed up.
Okay,
so
fair.
Love interest Kate, I would smash because she's a good person and she's spunky and hot and
for sure
too patient. And side character,
I think maybe Arnie.
The fuck's Arnie?
Sorry, this is the best friend.
I would pass on Arnie.
Okay.
Because he was gonna cheat on his wife.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And yeah, that's not healthy.
He doesn't look like he does much other than go bowling with
Arnie
friends.
was in the TV show Entourage. Did you ever watch Entourage?
No.
We watched it in college. It was, and by we I mean me and Travis. We watched it in college and it was such a good show.
Is Arnie like cool in that?
I think his name is also Arnie.
He looks like an Arnie.
Yeah, he kind of does. He was basically he was an agent and he was like a dirtbag, but it was funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to watch it again.
I mean, he seemed a little recognizable, but I'll smash or pass.
I'll smash. No, I'm just kidding. Pass.
Anyway, how likely are you to fall in love with this situation? I put 6.
Fair.
You know, if I was living a nice, wealthy life in New York and then thrown into suburban life, like maybe, you know, the kids seem cute and Kate's cool, but like, I don't know.
It's hard to say because I'm happy in my life right now, but
yeah,
like I guess if I was just like just rich and lonely, and then all of a sudden there's like I'll like wake up and there's like this really hot dude and he like takes care of the kids and he's just like forgives me for all of the random outbursts I have.
That's true.
And then just wants to get it on randomly and you know wants to make out with cake on his face. Like
sings on your birthday, like
sings
that.
On my birthday, like Henry Cavill, sure. If it was Nick Cage, no, sorry. Depends on who it is. How many times can I say Henry Cavill in one episode? Maybe he's one of our UK listeners.
I mean, probably.
I mean, we're so big. Like, so many people listen to us.
Oh my god.
Henry Cavill, if you're listening, I'm actually saying call.
Oh my god. Isn't he he's not married, right? He's still dating?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's okay. We don't have to talk about it.
Still stands. So, yeah, I put 6.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. A little more than half.
Fair enough.
I would not recommend it to non-romance. I mean, it's like a Christmas, so I was kind of like, maybe, but it also started to not feel like a Christmas movie, like...
It really isn't
after like
that
minutes.
Christmassy.
No.
Yeah, it's got like a dusting of
Christmas. Just very small flare of it. And my things of note, usually a good time with Nicolas Cage. Can't believe Megan and Demi watch a Christmas movie in the fall.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I can't trust Jack. Also, who the fuck was Don Cheadle? Some magical Christmas being, like they never explain who this man is at all. Yeah. I just assumed he was, I don't know, Christmas.
Fair enough.
Thing. I gave it 3 hearts. You know,
okay,
like it wasn't
that's more than I expected.
It, you know, like I said, it wasn't the worst, and I don't know.
It's honestly more than I probably would have given it.
Yeah, it's not good, but like it kept my interest. You know, I'm like, okay, like it had a beginning, middle, and end. Nicolas Cage was funny. You know, it's fun to watch him. So yeah, you know, but yeah, definitely a little higher. But you know, I'm biased. So it is Christmas.
Fair enough.
And Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, The Family Man.
Okay. So the genre was horror/action. The title is Willy's Wonderland. Mm-hmm. Directed by Kevin Lewis. Released in 2021. So I guess that kind of makes sense. It was probably filmed right after the main COVID, so everyone was a little weird.
A little wacky. Yeah, for sure.
So, snapshot. A man gets locked inside a knockoff Chuck E. Cheese where animatronic mascots come to life and try to kill him. Luckily, he knows how to kill robots. Willy's Wonderland. Whew. Do I have some thoughts about it? I'm like, this could either be a really long review or a really short one because there's... Yeah. So, major Five Nights at Freddy's vibes just to begin. It's like creepy mascots singing on TV, and I was like, I'm having flashbacks to 2016.
That's what Brett was like. How did they get away with this movie with Five Nights at Freddy's? And I'm like, well, they don't own like
scary, creepy mascots. I guess it is
it's the vibe is similar, but I don't think similar enough what they could like sue.
I mean, yeah.
I guess we'll see with the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah, I guess we will. It's the exact same movie.
Nicolas Cage is in it too.
Be amazing. So basically you open and like there's the creepy animatronics on TV, and then you're seeing like there's this blonde girl, she's got a blaze shirt on, there's this guy, and he gets like caught and like dragged away. His name is Carl, that doesn't matter. But I feel like that's such a classic horror movie scream. Carl! The lights are popping, there's like this little kid crying, they're screaming. Scene change.
It's your birthday.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, that is the song that they are singing. The happy birthday song is copyright, so they have to make up their own. So then there's like this super fast car going Speedy McGee, and the tires pop. You see some cowboy boots come out of the car. Mm-hmm. The trunk is popped, and there's like this purple drink in there, which you later find out. I'm like, the whole time I'm trying to guess, what is this freaking drink?
Same.
I thought it was beer at first, and then I was like, then I thought it was just soda, but it's like an energy drink.
I feel like it had to be an energy drink.
Yeah, it says caffeine on the side.
Okay.
And it's called Punch.
Punch, yeah. That's what Brett was like, is that beer? I'm like, I feel like it has to be energy. Even with the name, it just like feels like it's some energy drink.
And the colors too, like purple and green. Mm-hmm. So it's an energy drink. So there is a sharp beard on Mr. Cage. It comes up. It is cut. It is not loose. Mm-hmm. Beards can't be loose, but it is not like grown out.
Yeah, very clean.
Very clean cut. A tow truck comes. Nick Cage is doing a lot of glaring, and I wrote that he hasn't talked yet. And spoiler, he doesn't talk for the whole fucking movie.
So fucking funny.
Dude. And I knew there was a movie he didn't talk in, and I didn't realize this was the one. Yeah. And I was like, about halfway through, I was like, maybe he's just gonna say one thing.
One line, yeah.
I thought he was gonna end the movie with a line. No, doesn't open his mouth once. Nope. I feel like this was, classic Nick Cage.
I mean, whoever thought of that concept it's so funny. Yeah. We're like, let's have Nick Cage and let's not have him say shit. Yeah. Like, that is genius.
Incredible.
Genius.
Right, so they're entering the town of Hayesville, which is home to Willy's Wonderland. There's this scene change again to a gas can. There's like this girl wearing Doc Martens, and I was like, oh, she's cute. Like her vibe. Gas can, Doc Martens. I'm in.
Love it.
She gets arrested because she's pouring gas on Willy's Wonderland. Yeah. So she's arrested, and there's this moment when the tow truck comes up against the police car, and Nick Cage and this kid are like just staring back and forth, and it's like focus on her, focus on him, focus on her, focus on him, and you're like, are they telepathically communicating? Like,
what's going on here?
Yeah,
and she's like teenage, like she has to be like 16.
I think 17. She's teenage. She was 23, I think, when it was filmed. I like looked something like 23, 24, because she was definitely young.
Right.
I was very afraid they were gonna have it be a love story. Oh my god, I was like, please don't, please. Yeah. Because you never know.
You never know.
But no, she's definitely like, they're giving off teenage vibes. Yeah. So the police officer locks her in this trailer, and this is interesting. This is another common thread. On the walls in the trailer and on the walls in their house are both of those lobster tins.
Shut the fuck up.
And the reason why I recognize it is because every time I see those lobster tins, I'm like, why would anyone hang a penis on their wall?
Oh my god.
So they both had those.
Perfect.
So, you're seeing that there's like all these missing people's posters up on the walls of the tow truck fixer mechanic shop. Sorry, mechanic shop is the name. So in the mechanic
car
shop,
fixer,
in the car fixer building, are all these missing people posters, and the guy's basically like, oh yeah, it'll cost $250 for a tow. I wrote that down. Yeah. That's insane. I know how much a tow costs because I've had to get towed from your home.
Forgot.
Circa, what was it, 2018? It was 2018. Yeah. It was, you know what? It was probably around this time of year because you had the pumpkin sugar cookies that you made me.
That's right. Iconic.
Yeah, thank you. I will always think of the time my car broke down in Philly when I see those sugar cookies.
How about you always just think of me?
Yeah, I'll try. I'll change my mindset. So basically, he goes to like, it's gonna be a total of $1,000 to like change the tires and all that, rotate them and whatever.
Insane.
Yeah. So he goes to hand like his card and he's like, "Oh, don't take card, take cash only." And then the ATM's out of order because apparently the whole town doesn't have Wi-Fi or something. Whatever. So he's like, "Are you willing to work it off?" And basically Nick Cage gives a little nod. So you know he's gonna work it off. So they drive up to Willy's Wonderland. He gets out of the car. He's got like a burlap sack, which is the sketchiest way to travel.
Yeah.
And in the burlap sack are just all of those energy drinks that he could not live without. Jed is chewing on like jerky or something. I don't know. He's chewing on it the whole time. At first I thought it was a cigar, but he never once lights it. So whatever. Jed has something in his mouth.
Yeah.
So graffitied on the walls, it's like "Kid Killers, Gateway to Hell," which means that if I saw that, I would be like, I'm not going into that building. Yeah. Sounds horrible. This is the gateway to hell. Bad vibes all around.
Very fair.
So basically this guy is like, "Hey, you're gonna spend the night cleaning." His name is Tex. Yeah. Like the state, Texas. So Tex shows him around. Nick just like stares at the mascot, Willy the Weasel.
And Nicolas Cage doesn't have a name, does he?
No, in the credits he's called the janitor.
That's right.
Janitor. But I call him Nick throughout. I'm not gonna call him the janitor because I know his first name. It's actually Nick Cage in this situation. Real life fan favorite Nick Cage. So basically Tex says that like the reason that Willy's Wonderland shut down is because like kids got hurt by like tripping over the mascots and the lawsuit shut the business down. These mascots are looking gross as hell. Grimy. I don't know how they got so dirty, but it's vile. They need to be steam cleaned. They need to find Jesus. This is the first time you see something a little bit weird where the mascot kind of moves behind Nick. So all of a sudden, and I had to rewind at this point because I missed it because I'm taking notes. Yeah. I had to rewind and I was watching this on Hulu and it made me rewatch 3 minutes of ads to get to this point. I was like, are you kidding me? I need to go back 5 seconds just to see that, yes, indeed, Tex did lock him in, padlock him in. Right. And then he's like, goes to light up a smoke and he like throws his lighter because it isn't working. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to light up. Like I was convinced it's going to catch on fire because this girl put gasoline on it earlier. No, nothing happens with that. It was an unrelated note.
I love your like random theories you have.
Thank you. I just always have to try to guess what's going to happen. Isn't that why people watch movies?
That's fair. Not me. I'm brain dead half the time.
That's nice. I wish my brain worked like that. Instead, I'm always 10 steps ahead.
Well, it just makes me too stupid because then I'm like, I don't know what happened in this movie. And then I rewatch, I'm like, oh.
That's nice. Yeah. But that's nice. Every time's like the first time.
I'm just dumb. Every time's like the first time.
So Tex goes, I can't stand to hear a grown man scream. And then they leave. So then this girl, which we find out her name is Liv, her friends come to free her. They all are like looking around for a key. She's like locked to the radiator or whatever. Yeah. And this blonde girl comes up and she uses a bobby pin to free her. And it's very clear that the boy with the caterpillar mustache is into Liv. There's a point in which the mascots start moving again. Then all of a sudden, like, there's like a beep, 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 beep. It's Nick Cage's watch. And every time this watch beeps, he goes and gets another drink of his punch. Yeah. And that's what it's called, punch. And I really was trying to figure out, why is there an alarm for this? What's going on?
For me, I thought it was because Tex was like, make sure to take your breaks. So, I mean, it could be more than that. But for me, it was like, Nick's so adamant on taking breaks because he just does whatever. Yeah. So like once it's like that time, he's like, all right, break time. So for me, that's what I was thinking. That's what.
Okay, that's really interesting because that makes sense going forward. Mm-hmm. He ends up finding an arcade machine in the kitchen, which is like, why is this here? There is an actual arcade room.
Right.
He has the most chaotic cleaning technique I've ever seen in my life. I literally was like beside myself. One second he's cleaning the floors a little bit, the next second he's cleaning the dishes a little bit, and the next second he's back to cleaning the floors. I was like, oh my god, pick one. Clean it all the way, and then move on to the next thing. Yes. Then there's a scene where he battles an ostrich, and I don't know.
Because it just, like, steps up to him.
It just steps up behind him, and then I had to pause and write this down, because there was a filming continuity error that I noticed. And I was like, oh my god, I called something? Call the director. So basically, I had noticed, and I feel like this is also something I'm noticing because I'm like taking notes, right. But he's like cleaning the dishes, and I see something shiny on his face, and I was like, oh, what's on his, did he get hurt? Like, is there like a bandage on his face? And then it goes back and his face is normal, and I was like, oh, I must have just seen something. No, I didn't just see something, because it is at this point where the ostrich pecks him in the face, and he gets a wound. And it's the same cheek that he was hurt on. So I know that they just filmed a bunch of cleaning scenes and then just cut it wrong. And they should have had me watching the film to catch their mistakes.
How dare they fuck up that
I know.
hard.
God, so big. Okay, so he ends up smiling when he bleeds. He's definitely not afraid. He kills the ostrich. There's oils everywhere. It looks like blood. And then he goes and changes his shirt.
Yeah. Which is like a
Willy's. Yes, yeah. He like came in with his own clothes and then he just put on the working shirt.
He's very much, I don't know. He's very into what he needs to do. Like they were like, all right, you're part of the Willy Wonderland janitorial crew. Like you're cleaning up, blah blah blah, and he goes hard on it. He's like, yes, that's what I am. So, yes, it's his Willy's Wonderland shirt.
Yeah. So then you go and they're at the police station. And there's like a guy there, and he's like, why do you need backup for curfew in this tiny town? And she's like, well, we're just gonna pray this red phone doesn't ring. And then it switches again. And apparently Nick Cage decides that the proper first aid method for a wound on your face is to put duct tape on it. Insane.
And also he like this ostrich animatronic attacked him. He killed it. He doesn't question anything. He still just continues to go clean.
No, this is what continues to baffle me, and
like it's more of like an inconvenience. He's like, shit, I have to clean more now. I have to change my shirt because it's dirty, and it's just like so funny.
It's beyond. So he realizes he's locked in at this point because he goes to like throw the ostrich out in the garbage can, and then that's the point that I realize it's a caffeinated beverage. So he goes to the bathroom, which is pretty nasty. And I was like, dude, why are you not wearing gloves? He's literally bare hand with a rag cleaning the urinals. I was unwell watching that. So I also wrote, I hope he switched to towels. Because it looks like you don't see him switch towels. At one point, the towel looks brown that he's cleaning. Nasty. Bathroom definitely is looking better when he's done. And then the mascot starts singing that happy birthday song. It's your birthday. That Demi was singing earlier. I will not be singing. It turns off, and then all of a sudden the bathroom door shuts, and there's blood on the mirror, and it says, it's your birthday. And then you hear on the loudspeakers, let's play hide and seek. And then the gorilla, another mascot, attacks him in the bathroom. So he urinals him to death. Basically takes his head and smashes it into the urinal over and over again. And now the bathroom looks pretty bad again.
I know. Just not a good time.
No. He gets a new shirt. He duct tapes his tummy. I guess because he probably broke some ribs when he was throwing it at the wall, I would think. But I would also not be using duct tape as my number one first aid.
I don't know what goes through this man's mind.
I genuinely do not know if anything is going through this man's mind.
He is a mystery.
So then that way. I'm at this point, I'm saying he should just kill them all while they're chill. They're all just chill up on the band. Kill them. Kill them all.
That's not his job, though.
No, he's filing his nails and playing pinball. So then these teenage kids show up at Willy's Wonderland with gas cans, and they pour gas all over the building. And then they're like, before we light it on fire, let's get this dude out. Why was this your order of events? I would not be like, let me first pour gasoline and then get a man out of this building. Because literally anything can cause a spark. Okay.
Yeah, because they knew he was in there because the girl who saw him, she was like, yeah, their next like victim or whatever. I saw him
in the building.
So it's not like they're like, oh shit, we forgot. Let's get the guy real quick. It's
no, it doesn't make any sense. So the girl is like, Liv, she's like, I have to get him out. And some of the kids are just like, nah, let him die. Yeah, basically. What? They're like, it's his own fault. It's actually not.
No, at all.
You are literally, like, you could be burning this building after he's released. Like, you could do it during the day. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so they're acting like they're not the ones who are going to burn the place to the ground. So then the girl is like, I'm going to go in there. Don't follow me. You have to let me back out. And then she goes into the vents. And then you see that there's a mascot in the vents. It's the alligator and he's coming for her. So there's this slow speed crawl chase that occurs. Then switch scenes, back to the teenagers outside. They're smoking weed near the gas. And their friend is in the building.
I mean, I guess they're teenagers. Stupid.
I don't know. I will say, I wrote this down later, but I'll say it now. These teens are caricatures of actual teenagers.
You work with teens.
Yes.
So.
I have never met a teen who acted like, and yes, every human being is an individual and is different, but they are literally just archetypes. Like, it's like the blonde bimbo, and she has not a brain cell to rub, she doesn't have two brain cells to rub together. There's just like, they are not actual teenagers.
Yeah, they are like the archetypes, which is like funny because this movie is 2021. And like this is a normal archetype for like early 2000s vibe. But they
definitely, exactly. It's like an old school
like
style.
you're watching like Cabin in the Woods, the archetypes they needed. Yeah, for the sacrifice, if you've seen it, like that's exactly.
Yeah, I did see that in college, and then I wrote, "She's getting smoked inside" because there's like smoke coming through the vents.
Oh right.
And then she's in this area, and there's like kind of cool vibes with like fairy lights. There's like all these trees with like fairy lights on it, and then the siren shows up, and I kept writing that it was the fairy. It took me a while to realize she's the siren because of the.
It's the like the tutu one, right? With
the human
kind of human looking one. Yeah, I didn't like her. She's creepy.
No, super creepy. So then she tries to fight her hand to hand, and she is the world's worst fighter. She's not a fighter. She's acting like she's a real fighter. She is just like throwing her fists in this way, and like as a black belt in karate.
You tell him, Megan. I tell so many people that, and it's and I'm like, well, you know, Megan's a black belt in karate. Like, no, she's not. Yeah, she is. She is. I just think it's such a great fact.
It's like my favorite fun fact about myself. It's literally the only cool thing I've ever done in my life.
You could easily do like 2 truths and a lie.
Yes. No one would ever believe it. Especially because the only reason I've got that far in karate is my dad making me.
Listen, now
it's like a ballet.
Didn't we all? I was starting soccer and judo, okay? Yeah. Our fucking dads don't know what we want. Well, hey, at least you have a cool fact.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's worth it.
It was 10 years of torture, but...
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jesus. Yeah, tell him how you would handle the situation.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have...
We need to take a video of you
recreating the fight scenes.
Recreate it, yeah.
Dude, that would actually be hilarious.
I'm sorry, before this, does she fall on top of Nicolas Cage's character? And that's how she first
literally
meets him?
Falls the next line.
Right after him?
Yes.
Okay.
So she falls on him, and he literally ignores her.
Yeah.
It's weird.
He's got a job to do.
He's got a job to do. So now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. But I was like, this is not a human man.
No, he does not act normal. No. Like, he's just very much like, I need to clean.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the girl's like, hey, like, you gotta get out of here. There's like killer robots. They're trying to sacrifice you and shit. And he's like, okay. I gotta clean. He doesn't say that, but.
So he ignores her. The kids are planning on going to save her, and they end up falling through the ceiling into the ball pit. There's this scene, and this is the scene I think should be. I think this is the scene I said. This is the scene I said should be deleted because he tries to stop her from killing the siren, and I was like, why?
Which one?
He tries to stop her from killing the siren.
No, who stops her? I forget.
Nick. He stops her.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was weird.
2 days ago.
Yeah, it was weird. I also watched it 2 days ago. I might have forgotten. It was like she goes to do another stab, and he like grabs her hand and stops her. and takes the blade from her.
Oh.
We gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
I wrote this down because I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But also I cannot visually remember it.
Yeah.
So it could not have happened. Maybe my autocorrect kicked in and he encourages her to kill the siren. I
do not remember. The only part I remember with the siren was, like you said, the fairy lights, her fighting, and then Nick Cage being like, I'm out, I gotta take my break.
Yeah, that scene. Okay, so he's there to be a human sacrifice is something that we learn. Mm-hmm. And we learn that Willy's was founded by a serial killer who would kill families in the Super Happy Fun Room. Mm-hmm. And he basically, like, everyone who worked there, he was like grooming to become serial killers.
They were all also evil people.
Yes. And the police ended up being called, but they did a satanic suicide ritual.
Yes.
And their consciousness went into the mascots.
Yeah.
And then Willy's reopened. And apparently, according to lore, Willy convinced Tex to make a deal with the devil. And then at that point, you see that Bob and Kathy. So Kathy is the blonde girl and her boyfriend.
I figured this would be the scene you wanted deleted.
Honestly, I thought about it. And I was like,
this scene was so fucking stupid.
It was so dumb. I probably should. Let me change my. No, I'm just kidding. I won't. So basically, they're in this Super Happy Fun Room, and all of a sudden, Kathy is all horny, and she wants to bang. And I'm like, why?
They know there's murdering animatronics in here.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It really should be deleted, but I was just so upset by the fact that Nick Cage would have stopped anyone from trying to get rid of these murderers.
That's fair.
But it makes no sense, and the banging also makes no, and we'll go over it because we don't see them banging yet. But she's all like into getting freaky, which is like, I can't imagine a world in which it's sexy to be in a satanic ritual murder room. Where
I guess some people would be into it, but I don't know if she doesn't look like the type that would be.
No.
But I don't know.
I mean,
they're
again,
teenagers. They're always horny. Hello.
Me as a teenager, I never would have stepped 10 feet within this freaking building.
Absolutely not.
I might have graffitied it, actually. But
this, like, is a nightmare situation for Brett, because he, like, does not like mascots. Or, like, animatronics. He's, like, scared of them. So, like, he would just not. It'd be such a horrible situation.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Their eyeballs are way too realistic. So much white in them. So then there's, like, the animatronics start singing, and they're singing about 6 little chickens dying. And then they go to 5 little chickens dying. And then this kid gets stabbed. So one of the kids gets stabbed straight through. By the night, a sword goes through his body. Then you scene change again, and Bob and Kathy are banging.
For a while. The scene goes for too long. I'm like,
way
okay.
Too long. So the alligator's just watching. Yeah. And then another kid dies at this point.
Yeah, they're just dropping.
Like flies. So then Nick saves Liv from the night. Then you go back. Scene change again.
Yeah.
And the alligator kills Bobby while they're having sex. Yeah. Which is an actual nightmare. The idea. I can't even. We're not even going to articulate it. It's so horrible.
You're having a good time, and then you die unexpectedly. So it's like, is it the worst?
No, I feel like if you have a heart attack, not as bad. If you are slaughtered by an animatronic alligator and you see it coming and it's slow and he's ripping out your neck, that's not great.
Yeah.
I feel like you go from excitement and joy to the worst feelings a human being can experience. Yeah.
You just don't have sex in horror movies.
No, I mean, agreed.
You die.
Yeah.
You die. Yeah. Every time.
So then Nick kicks in the door, but they're already dead. Both of them are already dead. And then Nick kills the alligator. And then there's... I wrote it this time. So there's a sign on the wall that says party, and the Y is falling, and the F is like... Or the P is kind of broken, so it just looks like it says fart.
So mature.
I know, I'm like an adult. I'm almost 30. That was an actual note I wrote down.
LOL, it's like fart.
It's like it says fart. Okay. then there's the guy, the mustachioed boy, the caterpillar stash. His name's Chris. There's like a mascot who's trying to convince Chris that she's being bullied, and the other mascot,
chameleon.
Yeah. Yes. And the other mascots don't understand her, blah, blah, blah. Then we find out, and I don't know who is telling this story. I can't remember. It was 2 days ago. That was so long ago. Basically, we find out that Tex wanted to demolish Willy's, but the contractor who was set to destroy it was eaten alive.
Was this the sheriff woman?
I think the sheriff was telling the helper,
the
policeman,
deputy person for the night.
So then, basically, no one's gonna try to tear down that building because they're like, I don't want to get eaten.
Right.
So they just try to shut down the building, but the machines get out and they start killing townspeople.
Yeah, so that's why they need a sacrifice.
Right. So they're like, oh, we must feed the beast.
Which, how often do they do that?
They don't say.
Okay.
But
that's what I figured.
Too often.
Yeah, I fucking guess.
Yeah. So basically, the townspeople make a deal with the mascots. So they stand in front of the mascots and they're like, we'll feed you. And then there is an unfortunate incident in which they invite a family of 3 in, and a little girl survives. And that little girl's Liv, and the sheriff adopts her. Then we scene change. And the sneaky little chameleon kills Chris.
Yep.
Which we knew was gonna happen. He shouldn't have gone out. If any evil creature is saying, I'm bullied, like, sorry, get therapy.
Yeah, you still did a satanic ritual.
Yeah. You still
so evil.
are scary and look horrifying, and I'm really sorry that you're with them, but at least you're not about to get murdered. So Nick is ready to fight, but then his alarm goes off. This is what you said earlier. Right. So that's when he hands off the blade to Liv, and he goes back and he drinks and he plays the game like his pinball, and then he comes back again. He destroys the little robot, and he punches out 2 of them that were in the hallway. As he's going to kick out the door, the officer pulls a gun on him. So I know this all sounds confusing. He's walking down a hallway, he punches 2 robots that are in his way, and then he kicks out the door, and the officer's there holding a gun on him. And so the officer comes in. She's like apologizing to Willy the Weasel. He's the main mascot. I'm so sorry, Willy. I don't know why. Blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote, why don't they just kill Willy? This guy clearly knows how to do it.
Right.
Like, it's not that hard. He's taking them out one by one.
Yeah. I don't understand. I don't know.
It makes no sense.
At that point, I think almost all of them are dead, right?
Almost all of them are dead. I think there's maybe 4 left. I don't know. At least half of them are dead. There were 8 to begin with. And then at this point, Liv says, he's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
Easily the best quote in the movie. Oh my god.
Incredible.
It's so funny.
I was beside myself.
And it's true. He's just murdering them like nothing.
One after the other, after the other.
And he just changes his shirt, goes back to his pinball machine like it's nothing.
Yeah. Untraumatized. I would have been shitting the corner.
He is unbothered. He is unbothered.
Yes, I would have been a wreck. We'll go over my survival rating shortly.
Yes.
So he's like tied up because she wants Willy to kill him, apparently. Right. Because he hasn't already eaten all the children in the building. Like, he's gotten his sacrifice.
Yeah, they've gotten more than enough, but I guess it has to be, I don't know, a designated person. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So he stands up, he kicks the jukebox, head, shoulders, knees, and toes starts playing. And he does this weird, like, head nod, almost like dance groove thing. And at this point, I'm thinking, he's also an animatronic.
It would make sense.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense, to be honest. So then the helper police officer, the sheriff's deputy or whatever, is taking Liv away. They're fighting in the car, and he's like, fine, I'll go back. But then the mascot's on top of the car. There's like this, he's like a sombrero wearing one. I don't know what his like archetype is or whatever, but he kills the helper officer. Scene change, Nick squeezes the siren to death, to death with his knees. Yes. And then he breaks out of the cuffs. I mean, I don't know what these cuffs were made of. They had to be made of plastic. He literally rips out of them.
He's not a normal man.
No, he's really not.
Apparently not.
And then scene change again, back to Liv with the robot. I guess he had thrown the keys in the woods or something. What I would have done is find the keys, get in the car, run over the mascot.
Yeah.
I mean, easy peasy. But whatever. She walks back. So
yeah, why would you?
Couldn't be
stupid.
When there's a killer mascot on the list.
There's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie's supposed to be that serious.
No,
so there's
it's
obviously a lot of
definitely
loopholes
not.
where you're just like, if you're thinking too hard, you should not think
so.
Too
It's
hard.
not a Megan movie. Okay. So then Nick changes his shirt again, and he cleans again, and he covers up the dead bodies of the children who've died. And then he's pinballing, and this is my most memorable scene because he is literally dancing, and it is the most outrageous. It is,
yeah. I mean, it's something to be seen. He's like spinning.
You have to watch it.
Like,
I'm gonna have to try to grab a clip of it and post it because literally he's doing like it's like that square head dance that you've seen,
and like there was like some song playing like in the back. It's like it's his moment. Yes. It is his moment, and it's the best, easily the best scene in the movie.
It's iconic.
I don't know how this punch makes him feel after he takes a few in a row.
Must be amazing.
Yeah.
But I wrote he's off his rocker.
Yeah, after murdering
so
many animatronics, covering dead children, almost being killed, he's like, well, I'm on my break.
#vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how I need to be because I take life too seriously. And clearly I need to be playing pinball and doing some robot dance
Take
moves.
my breaks.
Yep.
Get that punch.
So he takes out the trash. The door's open. He takes it out. He waves to the sheriff. And like he's clearly about to go back inside. But she holds a shotgun up to him and she's like, go back inside. Go back inside. So he goes back inside. And Willy's gone. He's not on the stage, and she's blaming Nick, aka the janitor. And she's like, "Willy, come get him! Come get him! Come get your dinner! Come get your dinner!" Or whatever. And then Willy kills her, snaps her head off, whatever.
Yeah, he swipes, and like half her body just fucking.
Yeah, and it's just like spurting blood.
Very cartoony. Death.
Yeah, this is when I wrote, Nick is an animatronic.
Well, I think Willy did that to her.
Yeah, I know, but I think that there was like I just looked at him.
Oh, that you were okay.
Yeah. And so there's this birthday button. Pretty sure it plays the birthday song when you hit. I don't know. It's just a birthday button. So Willy slashes him, and him being Nick gets thrown into the ball pit. Then he gets up. He packs his drinks. He duct tapes some sticks together. And then they go head to head, and then he kills Willy with the bag full of energy drinks.
Hitting him with the fucking bag of drinks. Yeah.
And then outside, his fancy car is doing donuts, and you can see that the siren is getting out of the dumpster, so she didn't die.
And the person who brought the car back is the original tow truck guy.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes.
Because they're expecting, like, yeah, this dude's dead. So he's like, I'm keeping this car.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I fixed this up for you, Tex. Like, you know, all good.
Because it's like the morning at this point, right?
Yeah. And so, I said, the place looks great. They show you everything. He cleaned it.
He did his job.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Liv is back. He walks out of the building.
Yeah.
And he basically, like, gets his keys, and they're like, hats off to you, guy.
Yeah.
Like, nice. So he gets in the car. She gets in the car?
Yeah, she kind of, like, looks at him, and I don't know if he does anything.
He just look and look, and then she gets in the car.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, the sheriff's dead.
Didn't have much holding her there. I feel like, because I don't know if there was much bonding, but, like, it seems like Liv never had, like, a parental figure.
No, but, like, it's still weird.
It's weird. Yeah, it is weird.
Like,
yeah,
you don't know that you can trust. You just saw him kill a whole bunch of masks. I guess he saved your life a couple times, but
saved her a few times, and I mean, what else she's got? All her friends are dead.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's not gonna try to kill you. But okay.
I trust him.
Couldn't be me. So then the siren. So then, like, the Tex and the car towsman, get in the car, and the siren explodes it.
Yeah.
And so they're all dead. And then Nick goes to drink some of the energy drink, and he ends up giving it to Liv.
Yeah.
Aww. And then the last mascot, which was, like, left in the road, he sees it and he runs it over.
Yep.
So that
Willy's Wonderland.
was Willy's Willy's
Happy ending.
Wonderland. Yeah. Let's see what I have to say about it. So, I already said what my memorable scene was and my scene that should be deleted. Although, yeah, the sex scene was
when I was watching, I'm like, this has to be a deleted scene because it's just like, first of all, unnecessary, and second of all, too long.
It was definitely too long. I have regrets for not putting that. I thought about it, but I didn't. Main character, smash or pass. I said, drum roll, please. Pass.
No, what? You're gonna pass on a quiet man that does what you tell him to do?
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. He looks old. I just couldn't stop looking at his face.
Okay.
Jowls. I'm sorry.
I know his beard, like the way it was cut.
It was not.
But I mean, I don't think he looked that bad in Willy's.
It's not that he looked bad. It's not that he looked bad. It's not that he's unattractive.
Got a car, but that addiction to that caffeine,
the punch,
weird.
He also clearly doesn't have a lot of brain cells. Like,
we love that in a man.
No, I mean we do, right? We do. But
he has no brain cells. He's quiet. He doesn't talk.
That's true.
He does whatever. They were like, clean up.
That's true.
That's what he did.
That's true. That's true.
Man, no questions asked. We'll do what he needs to do.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You're swaying me, but I'm still gonna keep it at pass. I'm sorry. Looks just mean so much to me. Clearly, I'm superficial.
Whatever happened to personality? So much personality that he
has. the incredible personality. He's literally a robot man. This is so your type,
if he
though.
was actually an animatronic. Like, I never thought of that.
I know.
If he just wasn't.
If
human.
he wasn't, he might not have been. He's just like, he is giving himbo vibes without being strapped. Anyway. Sorry, Nick Cage. So mean.
We do love Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Here.
Main villain, clearly Willy the Weasel.
Yes.
I think everyone knows what I'm going to say. Smash.
Obviously.
Oh my god. Pass.
Oh my god.
How likely are you to survive in this situation? I said 3.
Okay.
I'm not very confident in myself.
I would have put 0 for myself. There's no way I was surviving this shit.
Listen, I've got a black belt in karate.
First of all, we had 1 survive and 2 clean.
Yeah.
I'm not doing either.
No.
I'm fucked.
Fair enough. But I wouldn't have. I mean, I feel like you didn't have to clean. Like, that's just because he was a little twisted.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have been like, well, you didn't clean up.
Then you just run.
I'd want my car.
Fair. Anyway, I give myself a 3. Would you recommend to a non-horror fan? No. No, I would not.
Why not?
There's a lot of blood.
That's fair. It's very gruesome.
It's very gruesome. It's very slashery. It's not that, like, I was talking to my brother, and I was like, he likes horror films, and I was like, you should definitely watch this.
Yeah.
Because he likes horror films.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is goofy as hell.
Yes.
However, would I give it to a non-horror fan? No, because of the blood.
That's valid.
Things of note, I said it has Five Nights at Freddy's vibes, and that Nick Cage never once speaks. The townspeople are absolutely unhinged. The fact that that's what all it took would be, you get 20 adults together, boom, take them out,
They weren't that bad to take out.
No.
Like, yeah, Nick Cage's character was, like, able to fight, but, like,
yeah,
he wasn't a fucking incredible fighter. Like, he was just some dude that was just hitting him with broomsticks and shit. Like,
and they said at one point, they were like, oh, we don't want to lose some good townspeople, and we try to get people who wouldn't be missed. Dude, what? You don't know those people aren't good people? How do you know? You don't know anything about them. You don't know they don't have 20 kids at home that they're taking care of.
Exactly.
Whatever. Anyway, so
terrible
go head to head with them. Y'all are dumb. I mentioned that he's addicted to energy drinks and might be a robot. And that's Stranger Danger is real. And I would not have gone into the car with him. Maybe, no, I wouldn't have. I was thinking maybe I would go to the closest train station, but no.
I don't know what I would fucking do is live.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have gone into the building in the first place. That's what I know what I would do. I wouldn't have gone into the building in the first place. Sorry, guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, he wasn't coming out. She was saying, you're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I guess because of her trauma, she felt bad. She went through it. So I could see why.
But I still
I don't know. I probably would have maybe hitchhiked to a certain area, not stayed with him completely. Get a ride somewhere. And
so my final rating, this was really hard because it started off higher, and the longer I thought about it, the lower it went. Mm-hmm. So I gave it a 2.5. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the reason it got that high is because of Nick Cage.
It's I'll be honest, if the teenagers weren't as big of characters as they were, the movie would have been so much better. The teenagers ruined it completely.
They really did. I feel like they didn't really need to be in it. It would have been more enjoyable without them in it. And they didn't add anything.
No, the only good scenes were Nick Cage. He didn't even fucking talk. He's just fighting animatronics. And I'm like, yeah, I like this. It's camp. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the teenagers, like, it's like, I enjoyed watching it just for Nick Cage, but I wouldn't say it's a good movie. Like, it's camp, it's fun. If you like Nick Cage a lot, like, it's definitely worth it. But
yes, because he's such a freaking character.
He's just a goofball.
It's hilarious, but the kids, like, they are overacting. It's not quality.
They were horrible. I mean, honestly, all the actors were not great, except Nick Cage.
Yeah, I mean, even in Nick Cage, I'm like, what is that? What is happening? Someone help me.
Yeah, so
I don't understand. Like, I need someone to write a 20-page paper on the mindset of the janitor.
Yes. I want more movies with him.
Just that character.
Just him. But yeah, I really wanted to like Willy's Wonderland more, and I just can't.
Yeah, I really wanted to like it, but it also, like, the storyline itself didn't make sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird.
Like, they didn't need to over-explain it the way it was. It could have just been, like, I feel like that's a falling of a lot of horror movies is they tend to just, like, over-explain. It's like in Trick or Treat when they reveal the character's face. Like, he was way creepier as a burlap sack head than he was as the gremlin child that he was.
I hate when things are, like, explained. I'm like, I don't need to fucking know.
No.
Like, this is great as it is.
It's spookier when I don't know. And then when I do know, I'm like, I mean, like, I can sleep at night, which is great. I love sleeping at night.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it works, but, like, most of the time, like you said, it's just, like, it just doesn't need to be explained. Like, we can just have these characters, I don't know, we don't need to know the details of a fucking suicide.
Like, it doesn't make sense for there to be, like, saying that there was a satanic ritual, it didn't add to the storyline.
No.
I was like, that's not how satanic rituals work, and...
Yeah. And it's like, we don't need to know that they need to do this ritual, or else the animatronics would get out and eat people, and that they made a deal together.
No.
It's like...
Because... It was honestly, like, it would have been more entertaining thinking that these are animatronics that just came to life, that were weirdly sentient and could kill people. That's more enjoyable than knowing that it was a serial killer's consciousness inside the...
Right. Yeah. It's weird. A little dumb. Like I said, it's fun. It is fun, but it's just definitely not a great movie.
No.
But Nicolas Cage saved it for sure.
Yeah.
From it being
good going, Nick.
Garbage. So good for him.
Yeah.
We love Nick in it, but everyone else, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick Cage, for this week's episode.
Thank you, Nick Cage. We'll have to do this thread again, for sure.
We'll definitely have to do this thread again. I'll have to put a little parentheses, same actor, so that everyone knows.
Yes.
All right. So, next week's recommendations. Demi, for you, I'm recommending The Lost City.
And I'm recommending for Megan The Lighthouse.
And I'm really excited about that because I actually want to watch it. So.
I'm so curious on how you'll like this movie. I cannot wait.
I mean, I've listened to podcasts about the scenario, so I think that I might enjoy it. I mean,
it's Robert Pattinson. Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. I don't know about that, but
I mean, he's like a Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he's like Nicolas Cage, but Robert Pattinson, I'll feel some feelings.
Daddy.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping I love this movie you recommended.
I genuinely think you'll enjoy it. Yeah. This is actually a movie that I watched because Travis recommended it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But he hadn't seen it, so that doesn't, I guess I don't give much
he doesn't get that much credit.
Yeah.
But it's Channing Tatum, and we love him.
Sandra Bullock,
of course.
Yep.
So.
And then there's do you know who
Daniel Radcliffe. Right?
And there's another.
There's another?
Oh,
is it a surprise? Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you wait and find out. Yeah, that'll be exciting. So if you can figure out the theme, you can reach out to us on howdowyoutchit@gmail.com. I clearly pay very close attention to that, to our emails.
It's fine.
Yeah. Reach out on social with suggestions for movies or themes. You can find us at howdoyouwatchthis@gmail.com and How Do You Watch This on Insta or Threads and on TikTok at How Do You Watch. I can never get through that. I just have to teach it, like, shorten it because I can't. How do you watch? How do you watch?
How do you watch?
How do you watch? Thanks for listening.
See you next week.
Bye.